afternoon, evening, afternoon, whenever you're turn this on to check out this live stream. We are here in Genesis chapter 13 and 14 is what we're going to be doing today as we continue to journey through the Word of God. As we journey through the Word of God. We are in chapter 13, and we're going to do chapter 13 and 14 today. And once again, we have some of these difficult names today, also. I struggled in some of the chapters before, but we're going to get through it. We're going to get through it. Yesterday we met Abram. We met Abram. God told Abram to get from out of his country and go to a place where he was going to tell him. And Abraham moved by faith. That's one of the things we're going to learn about Abraham. He's called the father of the faith. And we're going to learn some things about Abraham. We're going to do chapter 13 and 14 of Genesis today. And we're going to get through this thing, through the Bible, going through the Bible, one verse at a time, one chapter at a time. I don't know why people come on the channel, pop in, pop out, but that doesn't really matter, to be honest with you. I'm here to read the Word of God, and that's what I'm going to do. So usually I just wait for some people to come in. I give it about 3 minutes, 3 minutes in, and then I will go. How you doing, Wendy? How you doing today? Then I will go into it. 3 minutes into it, we have four people in the chat. We're at 2 minutes and 48 seconds. 3 minutes in, we're gonna go start in Genesis 13. We're doing 13 and 14 today, consistency. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel, and let's get into this. 3 minutes into it. Let's get into it. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel. Today we're doing Genesis 13 and 14. It says, "And Abram," which later on will become Abraham. It says, "And Abram went up out of Egypt, he and his wife, and all that he had, and Lot with him, into the south. And Abram was rich in cattle, in silver, and in gold. And he went on his journey from the south even to Bethel unto the place where his tent had been at the beginning between Bethel and Hakkah, unto the place of the altar which he had made there at the first. And there Abram called on the name of the Lord. And Lot also, which went with Abram, had flocks and herds and tents. And the land was not able to bear them, that they might dwell together, for their substance were great, so that they could not dwell together. And there was a strife between the herdmen of Abram's cattle, and the herdmen of Lot's cattle, and the Canaanites and the Perizzites dwelled then in the land. And Abram said unto Lot, Let there be no strife, I pray thee, between me, I pray thee, between me and thee, and between my herdmen and thy herdmen. for we be brethren. Is not the whole land before thee? Separate thyself, I pray thee, from me. If thou wilt take the left hand, then I will go to the right. Or if thou wilt depart to the right hand, then I will go to the left. And Lot lifted up his eyes and beheld all the plains of the Jordan, that it was well watered everywhere before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, even as the garden of the Lord, like the land of Egypt, as thou cometh into Zoar. Then Lot chose him all the plains of the Jordan, and Lot journeyed east, and they separated themselves, the one from the other. Abram dwelled in the land of Canaan, and Lot dwelled in the cities of the plain, and pitched his tent toward Sodom. But the men of Sodom were wicked and sinners before the Lord exceedingly. And the Lord said unto Abram, after that Lot was separated from him, lift up thy eyes and look from the place where thou art, northward, southward, eastward, westward. For all the land which thou seest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed forever. And I will make thy seed as the dust of the earth, so that if a man can number the dust of the earth, then shall thy seed also be numbered. Arise, walk through the land in the length of it and in the breadth of it, for I will give it unto thee. Then Abram removed his tent and came and dwelled in the plains of Mamre, and is in and which is in Hebron, and built there an altar unto the Lord. Now, as we read through this at Genesis, as we read through this, we want one of the things we want to keep our eyes on is our promises that God give to Abraham. Later on, He will give to Jacob, and Isaac. He continued to give them the promises that a coming Messiah is on the way. So let's go, chapter 14. And it came to pass in the day of Apharel, king of Shinar, Art, Ardiash, king of Elazar, Shemelar of Elam, and Titus, king of the nations. These made war with Bera, king of Sodom, and with Beras, king of Gomorrah, Shemnab, king of Amadah, and Shemar, king of Zobim, and the king of Bela, which is Zoar. All these were joined together in the vale of Shittim, which is the salt sea. 12 years they served Shedemar, and in the 13th year they rebelled. And in the 14th year came Shedemar and the king that were with him, and smote Raphaim and Adasra, Karnama, and Zuzim, and Ham, and Elam, and Shalvel, Karatem, and the Horites in the Mount Syria unto Ephraim, which is by the wilderness. And they returned and came to Eliphaz, I can't say these words, I'm trying to, these names, which is Kadesh, and smote all the countries of the Amalekites, and also the Amorites that dwelled in Hazarmata. Hazarmata. And there went out the king of Sodom, and the king of Gomorrah, and the king of Adamath, and the king of Zorboim, and the king of Bela, and the same is Zoar. And they joined battle with them in the vale of Siddim with Shedalamarah, the king of Elam, and with Titus, king of the nations, and Apharam, king of Shinar, and Aras, king of Elazar, four kings with five, and the vale of Shittim full of slime pits, and the king of Sodom and Gomorrah fled and fell there, and they remained fled to the mountain. And they took all the goods of Sodom and Gomorrah and all their victuals and went their way. Wow. And they took Lot, Abram's brother's son, who dwelled in Sodom, and his goods, and departed. And there came one that had escaped and told Abram the Hebrew, for he dwelt in the plain of Mamre, and the Amorites' brother Eshcol, and brother of Anera, and these were confederates with Abram. And when Abram heard that his brother was taken captive, he armed his trained servants born in his own house 318 and pursued them unto Dan. And he divided himself against them, he and his servants by night, and smote them and pursued them unto Hobah, which is on the left hand of Damascus. And he brought back all the goods, and also brought again his brother Lot and his goods, and the woman also, and the people. And the king of Sodom went out to meet him after he had returned from the slaughter of the Shedemers, and the king that were with him at the valley of Shevel, which is the Kingsdale. And Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought forth bread and wine, and was the priest of the Most High God. And he blessed him, and he said, Blessed be Abram of the Most High God, possessor of heaven and earth, and bless he the Most High God, which hath delivered thy enemies into thy hand. And he gave him tithes of all. And the king of Sodom said unto Abram, Give me the persons, and take the goods to thyself. And Abram said to the king of Sodom, I had lifted up my hand unto the Lord, the Most High God, the possessor of heaven and earth, that I will not take from a thread even to a shoelace, and that take I will not take anything that is thine, lest I should have said that I have made Abram rich, save only which the young men have eaten, and the portion of the men which went with me, Anara, Eshcol, Mamre, let them take their portion. What I want to do here is I want to look in on a few verses here in chapter 14 of Genesis. And one of the things I want to zoom in on and look at here is this king, uh, one of these kings that went out to meet Abram, they was willing to give Abraham all of the goods. But then they said, "Let us have the people." Let me tell you something. This today, it is about souls. God is trying to save souls and bring people into his kingdom, and the enemy is trying to deceive everyone. He's about souls. And so this whole thing is about souls. It's about souls. The devil is out for souls. God is out for souls. God want to bring people to his kingdom. The devil know his time is short, and his job is he want to make sure people go to hell with him. That's what he want to do. That's what he's out here doing today, deceiving people. But I just read Genesis chapter 14. Hold on. Genesis out his wife and his lot. Genesis 13 and 14 is what we just read. Tomorrow we'll be in 15 and 16.